In the glittering underbelly of New York City's media machine, where egos clash like thunderheads and ratings are the blood that pumps through the veins of daytime TV, an unlikely invitation was extended. It was early August 2025, the kind of sweltering summer day that made the asphalt shimmer like a bad omen. Tyrus, the towering, gravel-voiced Fox News firebrand, wrestler turned pundit with arms like oak trunks and a no-nonsense glare that could curdle milk, received a call from The View's producers. "We want balance," they cooed over the line, their voices slick as oiled silk. A real conversation about unity in a divided America. Whoopi herself greenlit it. Tyrus chuckled into the receiver, a low rumble that echoed his wrestling days in the ring. He'd scrapped with giants, taken chair shots to the skull, and risen from the mat bloodied but unbroken. A chat show with a panel of liberal lionesses. Child's play, or so he thought. Little did he know, the set of The View, that pastel purgatory of hot takes and herbal tea, was rigged like a pro wrestling heel turn. The topic: healing America's wounds post-election. The bait: a chance to speak unfiltered to millions. The hook: Whoopi Goldberg, the Oscar-winning moderator with a laugh like a thunderstorm and a temper that could level mountains. Tyrus arrived at ABC's studios on West 66th Street that Tuesday morning, his massive frame dwarfing the lobby's potted ferns. Dressed in a crisp black button-down that strained against his biceps, he cracked his knuckles and scanned the green room. Joy Behar was already there, flipping through cue cards with a smirk that said she'd seen carnies like him before. Sonny Hostin paced, murmuring about fact-checking privilege. Ana Navarro lounged with a coffee, her eyes sharp as switchblades. And then there was Whoopi, the queen bee, perched on a stool like a gargoyle guarding her turf, her signature shades perched on her head, hiding nothing but revealing everything. "Welcome to the circus, big guy," she quipped, extending a hand that felt like velvet over steel. Tyrus shook it firmly, meeting her gaze. "Ain't no circus without a lion tamer," he replied, his baritone slicing the air. The room tittered, but beneath the banter, the air crackled. This wasn't hospitality, it was reconnaissance. As the red light blinked on in the studio, the audience, a sea of middle-aged women in bold prints, clutching mugs of chamomile, erupted in applause. Tyrus settled into his guest chair, the one that felt comically small under his 6 feet 7 inches frame. Whoopi kicked off with her signature warmth. "Tyrus, thanks for joining us. In this post-Trump world, how do we bridge the divide?" "Simple enough." Tyrus leaned forward, his voice steady as a freight train. "Bridge? Nah, we need a wrecking ball. Your show's been swinging hammers at one side for years, demonizing conservatives while giving passes to scandals on your team. Unity starts with honesty, not echo chambers." The panel shifted. Joy's eyes narrowed to slits. "Oh, honey, that's rich coming from Fox's resident wrestler. You think shouting matches build bridges?" Sonny jumped in, her legal precision like a scalpel. "Let's talk facts, Tyrus. Your network peddles division for clicks. How's that unity?" Ana nodded vigorously. "Exactly. It's performative outrage." Tyrus didn't flinch. He cited clips. Whoopi's own rants on election denialism, Joy's jabs at MAGA cultists, Sonny's dismissal of border concerns as xenophobia. "You call it bias, I call it blindness. Millions watch this and feel erased. I'm here for them." The audience murmured, some nods, some gasps. Whoopi, ever the conductor, tried to orchestrate. "Let's keep it civil, folks. Tyrus, we value all voices." But her tone had an edge, like a smile, hiding gritted teeth. The segment was only 5 minutes in, but the temperature was climbing. Tyrus pressed. "Civil, your show thrives on uncivil. Remember when you piled on Byron Donalds for marrying outside his race?" "Hypocrisy much," Sonny bristled. "That's not the point." Joy interjected with a cackle. "Says the guy who looks like he benches the truth." That was the spark. Chapter 2. The powder keg ignites, words as weapons. Tyrus's laugh boomed, but there was no mirth in it. It was the laugh of a man who danced with demons in the squared circle. "Truth. You wouldn't know it if it suplexed you on live TV. You weaponize wokeness like a shield, silencing anyone who doesn't bow to your script. I'm not your dancing bear." The studio lights seemed to dim, the applause fading to a hush. Whoopi leaned in, her voice dropping an octave. "Watch it, Tyrus. This is dialogue, not a smackdown. But dialogue. This was war. Joy stood halfway out of her seat, pointing a manicured finger. You're a bully with a thesaurus. Fox News meme walking. Anna piled on. Toxic masculinity much. Sunny scrolled her tablet. Let's pull up your tweets. Oh, here's one calling immigrants invaders. Classy. Tyrus's jaw set like granite. He rose slowly, his shadow engulfing the table. Toxic. Toxic is burying stories that don't fit your narrative. Invaders. Try victims of cartels your policies ignore. You sit here in your bubble, preaching unity while dividing families with open borders and cancel culture. I'm toxic. Nah. I'm the antidote. The audience was split now, cheers from the back rows clashing with boos up front. Whoopi's face flushed beneath her makeup, a rare crack in the armor. She'd moderated Oscar nights, stared down presidents, but this colossus from the right was dismantling her court with bare-knuckled logic. Enough, she barked, slamming her palm on the table. The sound echoed like a gavel. We're not doing this. Cut to commercial. But the director, perhaps sensing gold in the chaos, hesitated. Cameras rolled on. Tyrus wasn't done. He locked eyes with Whoopi, his voice a velvet thunder. You don't get to cut me off because the truth stings. This isn't journalism, it's a setup. You invited me to hang me on live TV, lynch the conservative voice for sport. Well, here's my noose back. Your show's a circus of fake laughs and scripted outrage. I'm not part of it. Gasps rippled through the crowd. Joy shot back. Get over yourself. Sunny. Security. But Tyrus towered, unyielding. Fake laughs won't hide your lies. I'm here to burn the mask off, and y'all look naked without it. Whoopi surged to her feet, her chair scraping like nails on chalkboard. Cut it. I said cut it. Get him off my set. Her voice cracked the air, raw and primal, not the Whoopi of Sister Act fame, but a lioness cornered. Producers scrambled behind the glass, earpieces buzzing like angry hornets. The live feed froze for a heartbeat, 10 eternal seconds of pandemonium. Tyrus grabbed the mic cord, yanking it free in a move straight from his WWE playbook. You wanted a clown. You got a truth bomb. Deal with the fallout. With that, he hurled the mic onto the table, not violently, but with finality, and stormed off stage, his footsteps shaking the risers. The panel sat in stunned silence. Joy's jaw hung slack. Sunny whispered, "Did that just happen?" Anna fanned herself. Whoopi, breathing heavy, stared at the empty chair. "Well, we'll be right back," she muttered, as the commercial break mercifully swallowed the scene. But the damage, irreparable. The studio erupted in whispers. Crew members exchanged wide-eyed glances. Outside, New York hummed oblivious, but inside, the view had just imploded. Chapter 3. The Aftermath, Echoes in the Digital Coliseum. As the credits rolled on that fateful episode, hastily edited to sand down the sharpest edges, the internet ignited like dry tinder. #Tyrus vs The View trended worldwide within minutes, amassing 2.7 million mentions by dinnertime. Clips, bootlegged by eagle-eyed viewers, spread like wildfire. Tyrus's mic drop, Whoopi's meltdown, Joy's stunned face frozen in meme eternity. Conservative corners of X, formerly Twitter, hailed him as a gladiator. Tyrus just suplexed the liberal elite. #TruthBomb, one user posted, racking up 50K likes. A Change.org petition for ABC to apologize for endangering the cast surged past 50,000 signatures, spearheaded by progressive watchdogs decrying toxic aggression. Tyrus, back in his Manhattan hotel suite, watched the storm brew from his phone. No regrets, just a quiet satisfaction. His agent buzzed. Bookings were pouring in, podcasts, late-night slots, even a wrestling comeback tease. But the real clapback, it came the next morning on Gutfeld, Fox's irreverent answer to The View's sanctimony. Greg Gutfeld, grinning like a Cheshire cat, teed it up. "Tyrus, you turned Whoopi's tea party into a cage match." Spill. Tyrus leaned into the camera, his presence filling the screen. "Look, I didn't go there to fight, but I ain't back down from one." Whoopi and the crew, sharp as tacks, but blinded by their own spotlight. They preach tolerance but tolerate nothing that challenges their script. I called it out. Hypocrisy, double standards, the whole rigged game. When she yelled, "Get him off my set," it wasn't anger at me. It was fear of the mirror I held up. The audience howled. Gutfeld prodded. Regrets. Tyrus shook his head. 1. I should have worn my wrestling boots. Might have pinned him quicker. The monologue went viral, 10 million views in 24 hours. Tyrus didn't stop there. He dropped a thread on X, dissecting the unity myth with wrestler wisdom. In the ring, you respect your opponent or you get pinned. The View forgot that. Unity ain't agreement. It's hearing the other side without the earplugs. Whoopi, if you're reading, call me back. No scripts this time. Retweets. 150K. Replies ranged from, legend, to, you mansplained a black woman, bye. But the engagement, nuclear. Meanwhile, The View licked its wounds. Whoopi addressed it the next day, her voice steadier but her eyes weary. We invited Tyrus for dialogue. It got heated. That's TV. But no one's silencing anyone here. Off air, whispers swirled. Producers clashed with Whoopi over the unscripted chaos, forcing last-minute edits that left her fuming. Ratings spiked 40%, a Pyrrhic victory. Joy quipped on air. He stormed off like he owned the place. Newsflash. It's our View. But the barb landed flat. Sonny admitted privately to a colleague, he had points. Scary ones. Chapter 4. Ripples across the airwaves, a nation divided, amplified. The Showdown's shockwaves rippled far beyond the Hudson. Late-night comics pounced. Jimmy Fallon replayed the mic drop with cartoon sound effects. Colbert twisted it into a MAGA meltdown skit. Pundits piled on. CNN called it a symptom of Trump's toxic legacy. MSNBC dubbed Tyrus wrestling's worst export. But in Heartland diners and Texas barbecues, it was legend. Tyrus said what we all think. Finally, someone with guts. For Tyrus, it was catharsis. Born George Murdoch in Boston's mean streets, he'd clawed from welfare lines to WWE rings, then to Fox's green rooms. Abuse survivor, father, conservative unapologetic, he'd faced worse than Whoopi's glare. In a follow-up interview on his podcast What It Is, he reflected, Whoopi's a trailblazer. Respect. But trailblazers get stuck in their paths sometimes. I just cleared some brush. Listeners flooded voicemails. Truckers from Ohio, moms from Florida, vets from Cali. You spoke for us, one said. Tyrus nodded to the mic. That's the win. Whoopi, for her part, didn't clap back publicly, not yet. But in a Variety profile weeks later, she hinted, Tyrus brought the heat. We turned it up. That's the game. Private sources whispered of a rematch invite, scripted, of course. Tyrus, he'd consider it. Round 2. Bring the bell. Epilogue. The Eternal Ring, Truth's Last Stand. By November 2025, as election scars faded into holiday cheer, the Tyrus-Whoopi saga endured, a parable of America's fractured forum. It wasn't just a TV tiff, it was the soul of discourse laid bare. When words are weapons, who wields the mic? Tyrus walked away taller, his voice amplified. The View rebuilt its walls, higher than before. And in living rooms coast to coast, folks debated over coffee, hero or heel. In the end, the real clapback wasn't Tyrus's exit or Whoopi's yell. It was the silence after, the pause where millions pondered, what if we listened? In the grand, chaotic arena of democracy, that's the suplex that sticks. And as the credits roll on another divided year, one truth rings clear, the show's never over. The bell just waits for the next call.